and welcome into WHAS 11 News at noon. In just a couple of hours, Louisville Metro Police are planning to release body camera footage from a moment that an officer shot a suspect near Wyandotte Park. LMPD says that it was a recent graduate who fired that gun. Officer O'Shea Rogers shot Dron Bobbitt last Monday after police say Bobbitt pointed an AR-style pistol at officers. Rogers was hired in February and had just graduated the academy in August. Police say he has no complaint or disciplinary history. Bobbitt was taken to the hospital but has since been released and booked into jail. He appeared in court last Wednesday and pleaded not guilty to several charges, including wanton endangerment of a police officer. Bobbitt is now being held on a $100,000 bond. LMPD's footage is set to be released today at 2. We'll be there to bring you updates in real time online at WHAS11.com and on the free WHAS 11 app. In 1 hour from now, Sunnergoss baristas plan to announce that they are ready to go on strike at any moment. The baristas claim the coffee chain refuses to bargain in good faith, and this comes after workers voted to unionize back in January. Sunnergoss is the second largest local coffee chain in Louisville with 5 locations and over 63 employees. We have reached out to Sunnergoss for a statement and are waiting to hear back. An update for you this afternoon. A Louisville man is accused of murdering a woman inside her Okolona apartment. He turned himself in today. Rayshawn Betts is accused of brutally assaulting and killing Amy Skelton earlier this month. LMPD says on November 8th, Betts broke into Skelton's apartment armed with a gun. They say he hit one victim in the head, then grabbed 2 knives from the kitchen and stabbed Skelton multiple times. She was taken to University Hospital where she died. Now, police announced warrants for Betts' arrest last Thursday, and this morning he turned himself in. He's going to be in court tomorrow at 9, facing charges of murder, burglary, assault, and wanton endangerment. And Thanksgiving week gives us a chance to focus on food insecurity in our area. It's a focus ignited locally by 9-year-old Bobby Ellis, who died of hunger on the eve of Thanksgiving in 1969. As WHAS 11's Connor Steffen shows us, many feel that this mission is more important now than ever.
Well, it was a vigil for Bobby Ellis that brought hundreds out here to his former school. You could argue what really happened here was more like a call to action.
It's important for us to do this, to help the community to never forget what took place in 1969.
The headline from that year on Thanksgiving Day: Louisville youngster, 9 dies of malnutrition. His name, Bobby Ellis. Born out of Bobby's death was a movement spearheaded by Louisville-based food bank Dare to Care.
It just reinvigorates me to fight this fight.
But the group's CEO, Vincent James, says that fight has only gotten harder in recent years.
Yes, we're actually in a much more challenging position today than we were during the pandemic.
Dare to Care has seen demand for food skyrocket, some 30%.
It's like a perfect storm.
James attributes much of it to the loss of pandemic safety net programs, coupled with a somewhat stagnant yet still high inflation rate.
Thank you.
It's a tall task trying to solve that issue.
So together, let us continue to rekindle the spirit that brought us together some 52 years ago.
Bringing the group trying to end hunger in Kentuckiana.
We just need to be more connected to ourselves.
To lean on its community this somber anniversary.
So I always walk away with a sense of hope, like, yes, we can do this.
In the Russell neighborhood, Connor Steffen, WHAS 11, on your side.
Dare to Care says for every $1 donation it receives, it is able to feed 3 meals to Kentuckiana children and families. Now, if you are looking to help at this time of the year, you can go ahead and click on the link in this story on WHAS11.com. Well, the UAW has overwhelmingly ratified a new contract with Ford. Just over 69% of all workers across the country voted in favor of the deal. Now, voting wrapped up Saturday with about a 15,000 vote margin in favor of the new deal. However, here in Louisville, that was not the case. A majority of Metro workers were against the new agreement when they held their vote last Sunday. The new contract runs through April 2028. It includes a 25% wage increase over 4.5 years, as well as a cost of living raises for its workers. And this is exciting. For the first time ever, U of L football is heading to the ACC Championship. The Cards clinched their spot after a 38-31 win against the Miami Hurricanes. Head coach Jeff Brom is now also the first coach in NCAA history to take 2 different schools to conference championships in back-to-back years. He did it last year with Purdue.
Just think we have really good coaches that are good people. We have a good support system at the university. We've got players that want to win, and fortunately it's gelled together to help us get to this point.
And you can watch the Cardinals take on Florida State in the ACC title game right here on WHAS 11 in 2 weeks' time. But first, they've got a rivalry coming up next weekend, a shot at the Governor's Cup against Kentucky. You can watch that game at noon this Saturday right here on WHAS 11. Right now, part of the 2nd Street Bridge is closed for repairs. Here's what you'll need to know as you're driving across the bridge this week. Both the northbound right lane and sidewalk are closed today and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says crews will be repairing the sidewalk as part of the bridge railing repair project. Now, all construction on the project is set to be complete by the end of this year. And today we are remembering former First Lady Rosalind Carter, who died yesterday. This comes just a few days after she entered hospice care. The Carter Center says she died at her home in Plains, Georgia, surrounded by loved ones. She was 96 years old. Right now you're taking a look at some archive video that we found in the WHAS 11 archives of when Rosalind visited Bardstown, Kentucky back on July 7, 1979. Along with her husband's Vice President, Walter Mondale, and former Governor John Y. Brown. They were in town for a Democratic fundraiser at My Old Kentucky Home State Park. And tributes are pouring in from Washington and all around the world for the former First Lady. Rena Roy reports from New York on her life and legacy.
A champion of women's rights and an advocate for mental health, Rosalind Carter lived a life of faith and service before passing away at the age of 96 Sunday, peacefully at home with her family by her side.
I think it's a very sad day in Georgia.
That they lost a good person, and she was real respected around here in the Plains.
In a statement, former President Jimmy Carter said his wife was an equal partner in everything he ever accomplished. They were the longest married presidential couple, together for 77 years with 4 children. They celebrated their success and 75th wedding anniversary in one of their last interviews together in the summer of 2021.
That was the most important thing in my life. Having Rosalind say, okay, finally, and staying with me all this long has been the most wonderful thing in my life.
He's pretty wonderful in my life, too.
After moving for her husband's naval career and running the family's peanut business, Rosalind's unwavering support continued for her husband as he entered the race for the White House.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
She entered the White House at the height of the women's movement, the first time a First Lady had an office in the East Wing with the formal staff.
She was well known for her efforts on mental health and caregiving and women's rights.
But she and her husband are arguably most celebrated for what they did after leaving the White House, founding the Carter Center, which has helped to end diseases all over the world. Just 6 months ago, Rosalind Carter announced that she had dementia. At the time, the former president was already in hospice care at their home. She will be laid to rest next Wednesday. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
The Carter Center says that the former First Lady will lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Library in Atlanta today. She will be buried in Plains on Wednesday.